everybody likes the nude eyeshadows and the natural look, but I really like the grays, and they don't always have to be dramatic or going out. You can do them soft and they're still good for daytime. So I am going to be doing the look that I'm wearing now. I've worn it all day since about 6 o'clock this morning, and it's held up really well. I've used all Younique products except for the foundation, and it's just because I haven't purchased a foundation in my shade yet, because I'm still tanning and there's no reason to buy it because I know I'm going to get darker. So I'm just going to take the foundation and makeup off that I have on right now, and I'll be right back and we'll start from scratch. Okay, I'm back. I've took all my makeup off. I did use the Younique makeup removing cloths. They are really good. They're the best ones I've ever used. I never thought that I would ever promote or rate a makeup remover cloth. I've never really been too impressed with them, but this one takes off absolutely everything, and I wear a lot of eye makeup and it took it all off. So I'm very pleased with this. It smells good. I mean, especially if you go camping or anything like that, they're really good because your face feels fresh, clean, it smells good, and you really wouldn't have to run straight and wash your face with another product. So I really like these, and they are also by Younique. So I do have a better setup, I believe, today, or at least that's what I'm hoping for. I do have everything laid out in front of me. I've already got all my pigments out that I'm going to be using, and so hopefully it'll go a lot smoother. I've got a different setup. I've got everything that would normally be in front of me. It's behind me, so it's a little bit better view than what it was before. I've got, I believe, a better lighting. It is kind of blinding me, but you can see it better, so that's all that matters, because I can handle the spots in front of my eyes. And I'm going to take my gum out because that's just not good. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to prime my face with the Glorious Primer by Younique. Just a little dab right there. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. And I'm just put this all over my face like this. And put it over my eyes too. That way my eyeshadow will stay better. It feels really good. It feels like velvet. And this just keeps the makeup from seeping into your pores and just causing breakouts and blackheads. And that's always a really good thing to, you don't want blemishes and blackheads if it can be avoided. So that's what a really good thing, and that's what the primer is for. So the first shade that I'm going to use is the shade Vulnerable. It is my go-to crease shade right now. It's very light, and it just helps blend out all of the other colors whenever you apply them. So I'm just going to use a fluffy brush by Sigma. And you can use any fluffy brush or any type of brush that you have. It doesn't have to be this. And just a very light application there. And then I'm going to go straight in the crease. And just blend that out. And just kind of bring it around the corner if you want. You can use any neutral shade that you prefer. If there's a brown shade that you prefer, or a more creamy shade, you can use whichever color you prefer. And just blend that in really good into the crease. And if you can see my lips, I do have on the Stiff Upper Lip by Younique. I've had it on since 6 o'clock this morning. I touched it up very minimally after my lunch, and I've had it on all day. And I rubbed and rubbed, and it just would not come off with the makeup removing cloth. It does take a little bit of soap, or just whatever facial cleanser you use, and you don't want to use like hand soap on your lips. And I'm just going to blend this out really good like that. And then I'm going to go in with another smaller blending brush, also by Sigma, and I'm going to go in with the shade Naive. It's a very neutral gray shade, and I will show you in just a minute. It's very, very neutral, but you can see the gray on there. And I'm just going to go straight on top of the Vulnerable and just blend it out. You may not feel like you can see it very much right now, but I promise it will come together in the end. Just blend that shade out. And then I'm going to go in and do the same thing on this side. I'm actually going to get a little bit more of this shade. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to go back, but oh well. And I am using the Uplift Eye Serum by Younique. I had super dark circles before I started using it, and I hated to go even out without makeup. And as you can see, this is my bare face. I didn't do anything after I took my makeup off. This was just me, and I don't have any dark circles, and my eyelids, they're not dark anymore either. So I'm super pleased with that, and it will always be a makeup staple in my makeup facial cleansing routine. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the shade Feisty, also by Younique, and I'm just going to layer this on top of my lid. I'm not going to use the rose water because I want to show you that with just blending and adding just a few layers, you can achieve that look, and there's no fallout throughout the day. I didn't have any eyeshadow in my concealer today. So this is the shade Feisty, and it's just a really pretty shimmery gray, and it's not very dark. So I'm just going to tap this onto my lid, and it's better to tap it instead of rubbing it from side to side like this, because rubbing from side to side will cause the fallout if you have a little bit more on your brush, but if you tap it, it just packs it on there better. See, it just takes very little to get that gray shimmery look to start showing. I'm also going to get some more of this Feisty shade. You always think you have enough, but you never do. Now I'm going to take a brow brush by Eco Tools and trace my crease with the shade Devious. I'm just going to trace it. I don't want to blend it up. I just want a little depth in my crease, and by using a thinner brush, you will get that. You don't want to use a fluffy brush because you don't want a lot of shadow. You want this to be a soft, natural day look. There's very little product on the brush, and I'm just going to trace my crease. And you do want a dark line, you don't want a light line. You do want it to be noticeable, but you don't want it heavy. So you can see how that is traced there. And that's what you want. You want your line to look smooth and even and right in your crease. Just gonna go back over this one. It didn't get quite as dark as I wanted it the first time. Okay, after you have your lines in your crease, I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush by Eco Tools and just blend it into my crease, not up, just in, because you don't want to leave that line. You want it to be a smooth look, a soft, glowy look. So just take your brush and just blend that into your crease. See, it looks nice and soft on this eye versus the harsh line on this one. You want this soft, glowy look. I'm just going to do this to the other eye as well. See, you want the soft look. And then I'm going to go back in with the shade Feisty on top of my lid and just touch up where my brush just dabbed it off. Just a little bit, not much. Just up there near the crease is the only part that come off. Alright, and I am going to put a lip balm on because with the stiff upper lip, if you don't throughout the day, it is a stain. It's not a gloss. It's not going to keep your lips moist. So it's always good to start with a lip balm, and that's normally what I would do in the beginning, but I just forgot to put it on because I still had the pink on my lips. And this is the coconut scent by EOS, and I love the little EOS balls. Alright, and now I'm going to go in with my liquid eyeliner. I've had a lot of requests for this. It does take kind of a long time to perfect. Took me about a month because some days my lines would be really long, some days they'd be really thick, some days they would be really thin. Some days in the month when I was learning, they were good. So I do use the NYC liquid liner that I purchased at Rite Aid, but I actually don't think they carry the NYC products anymore, but you should still be able to purchase it at Walmart. And these liners last forever, and they're probably the best I have used. So to begin with, you want to start here at the corner of your eye, and you want to follow your lower lash line and just drag it out. And depending on the day or night that you're doing, depends on the size of the wing that you want. I usually do about a medium wing, but today I'm going to try and make it, or this evening I'm going to try and make it a smaller wing like I did earlier today, because it is a daytime natural glow look. So I'm going to be looking down here in my mirror. See, about right there is what you want to do. And then from there I take this and drag, not straight from the corner, but about right there, and then drag it back across the top of my lid. And then, see, you need to go back in and fill it in. And there's your line. And there's your wing. Not too hard. It is not very easy to talk through that, so there's a lot of silence during that. So I'm going to line my other eye. I'm going to do the exact same thing. You just follow. Start with your lower waterline and follow and trace it out. And be sure that you always use the edge of your brush and rub all the extra product off of it, because you don't want a lot of product on your brush, because then it will get way too thick. And there is both wings. I promise if you practice, it will get better. I always, when I was learning how to do it, I would do it in the evenings after, right before I took a bath. I would take all my makeup off and then just practice. That way it didn't matter if I messed up. That way you're not trying to learn it in the morning and messing up your whole face whenever you try it. So it's always really good to just pick a time of day when you're really not going anywhere and just practice then. So that's how I learned, and it took about a month. So next I'm going to go in with my foundation. I am using the Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear. It is a purchase from Sephora. I'm going to shake it because, like I said before, I just like to shake my foundation. It gets just all the chemicals in there moving around and doesn't let anything settle. And I am going to be using the blending bud from Younique, and I am going to be misting it with rose water. And if you haven't smelled the rose water, it is heaven. I do wish they made this in a perfume, but they currently do not. So the way I put my foundation on to begin with is I take a little dab, about like that, and I just dab it on my skin. I do about 2 on my cheeks, 1 on my forehead, and then I share the ones between my nose, my chin, and my lips. It takes a very little. You don't ever want to put too much foundation on your face, because then it just takes forever for it to soak in, and then when it finally does, you've just gotten too much on. So you never want to overdo it. You always want to start with a little bit first and then add, and then if you don't have enough, then just add some more. It's always better to start with a little and add than to start with too much and just be greasy cake face. Nobody wants that. So, and whenever you're blending this out, always tap it. You don't want to blend it up and down or sideways, because that just streaks your foundation and doesn't leave a good application. If you dab it, it just leaves a nice flawless finish. And as you go, you will learn how much foundation you need, and it doesn't take long, just a couple of tries, and you know about how much you need to apply. So we just dab this out. I usually do start with my cheeks and go up and push my hair back from my face, and then just blend it all in. I think the eyeshadow application of my makeup routine just takes longer than anything else usually. That is blended in good. And next I'm going to go in with the eyeliner from Younique. It's in the shade Perfect, and I am going to line my lower lash line. I always line my lower lash line next because after I put my concealer on, I don't want to have to go back in and touch the concealer and then mess everything up. So I am going to be using it's a black shade by Younique. It is in the shade Perfect, and it does last all day. So they're lined really good. I always prefer, not everyone lines their waterline. I've always just preferred that look over not lining it. But if you do like a little darkness down there, instead of lining it, or even just smoking out your bottom lash, you can use your mascara and just go up farther into your waterline and just dab some of the color in it and just bring it down, and that color will give you a little bit of look. And in another look later on, I'll do that to show you what it looks like. So next I am going to apply my 3D fiber lashes. I do this before I apply my concealer, that way if there's any fallout I can brush it off and it's still not going to affect my concealer and my setting it. So I am using the L'Oreal Miss Manga mascara. It is currently my favorite, just drugstore mascara, and it's always best to start with a favorite mascara that you already have, because the gel that the 3D fiber lashes comes with is not a mascara, it's just a gel. It's an adhesive gel that the fibers stick to. So I am going to curl my lashes. You don't have to, I just do. It just opens up your eye and makes it look bigger. And my daughter told me this weekend that I looked like I had really little eyes without makeup, so I said it's because I curl my lashes. So I am going to curl these. I do use a eyelash curler by Tarte. I didn't buy it. I think it's about $25, but I did buy it free in 2011 whenever I bought one of their mascaras. So I do get any excess off the tip of the mascara before you use it. And then I do put a really good, not a thick coat, but I put a sufficient coat on your lashes. And you should know that what your sufficient coat is without putting too much on. And if you ever get mascara on your skin somewhere whenever you're putting it on, which we all do, just leave it alone, let it dry, and then just brush it off with a Q-tip later, and it won't leave any mess or streak, I promise. The next I'm going to go in with the Younique adhesive gel. And do not let your mascara dry. Put this directly on while it is wet. I have found that if you let it dry, it just clumps. And nobody wants a clumpy eyelash. And with the money that you do invest in the 3D fiber lashes, you want it to turn out right. And you want it to look good and exactly like what they advertise it to. And that is the key. In the directions it does say to dry, to let your favorite mascara dry, but do not let that. Don't do that. I'm going to go in with the 3D fiber lashes, and whenever I pull this out, I do see the excess there on the brush. I do just twist it on the inside of the cap to remove any excess, and then I just tap it off. And don't let your adhesive gel dry either. Put that directly on. And then I'm going to go back in with the adhesive gel and coat my fibers so I won't have any fallout. And like I've said before, I do wear contacts and I have absolutely no issues with this mascara as long as I've used it, and I've been using it about 2 months now. And I've been more than satisfied with this product. If you haven't tried it and you want to try Younique products, the best place to start is the mascara, I think, because that will win you over. I only do 2 coats of the 3D fiber lashes. I actually wore 3 coats this week because someone had asked me how many coats I use, and I told them just 2. And I thought, well, I'm going to try 3 just to see what it's like. And I did not like 3 coats. I thought that it felt too heavy. And it just weighed my eye down, and I didn't like the heavy feel. I mean, they still look just as good and they didn't look clumpy. I just didn't like the heaviness of them. So I'm going to go in and curl my other lash and just give it a couple pumps. Just wipe off any excess. I'm going to go in with the gel. Just coat my lashes good. And if you are applying your fibers and one side of your wand gets more fuzzy from the products, I always save that side and then just use that side whenever I go in with my second coat. And I usually do not put my fibers back in the tube after the first round. I just leave it out and hold it like this. So here's my second coat of the gel. And my second coat of fibers. And earlier, whenever I said 3 coats, I meant I put the 3 coats of the fibers on, because I know in this process, even though I'm doing 2 layers of the fibers, I am doing 3 layers of the gel, because you have to start fibers, gel again. And I have the other video that I did on Monday. Sunday. I did a little short smoky eyed video that was way more intense than this. This is a natural day smoky eye look, or not, whichever one you want to use it for. And I'm still working on that. It's actually completely edited, and I just think it's been really stormy here and it's been cold, and even if it's cold, our internet doesn't like to work, but I will get that up as soon as I can. Should do it. Okay, even though there's just minimal fallout here, I do use a fan brush by Eco Tools, and I just dust anything that might be there off, before I put my concealer on. And in the beginning, I did say that all the products that I was going to be using was going to be Younique, except for my foundation, but actually I forgot about my concealer, which is Nars, and my eyebrows, I do those with the Anastasia Beverly Hills products. So next I am going to put on my concealer, and it is the Nars shade in Vanilla. I do believe I need to go up a shade where I have tanned and go to Custard, but for now I'll show you. I tweak it, it still looks soft. So I usually just use whatever comes out on the end of the brush. I do come down farther because I like a more highlighted look. than just right under your eye. So I just dab it under my eye and just kind of bring it up and straight out. Like that. And then again for the other eye. And that's all the concealer that I use. I do have a blemish down here, but whatever I have left over on my beauty blend, I'm just gonna hide it. So I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender from Younique, and I am going to be using rose water on it just to keep it from looking cakey underneath my eye. So just a little mist. And then I'm just going to blend it out. I usually use the side, and I use the smaller tip because you are going up under your eye, and you don't want to use the larger end where you could get the product up in your eyelashes. Blend it out. I'll blend up closer, that way you all can see better. I always blend out and then do closer to my eyelid, or to my waterline. Last. I blend out all of this first. Okay, see, it looks a little white, but I promise I will fix it and you won't be able to tell. I'm going to set this with the Anastasia powder contour kit, and I do say powder because she does have a cream contour kit out right now, and I would not, you don't set with cream, you just contour with cream. So I'm going to be using the shade in the center, and this shade is vanilla, and I also am going to go in with this shade here on the bottom, cocoa, and you'll see what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to use a tapered highlighting brush by Sigma. I'm going to go in with the shade Banana. Where's my camera? Right there. Just a little bit. I'm going to set it, and this just keeps your eyeliner or mascara out from under your eyes. And if there should be any fallout or drop down, it's really easy to correct once you've set it versus having not set it. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Cocoa on the opposite side of my brush, just a tad, and then I'm just going to go down here to blend it in with my foundation. That way it doesn't look so white. I love the contour kit. One of my favorite purchases ever. And then I'm going to go in with the Beachfront bronzer in the shade Sunset. I do like this, or these bronzers from Younique, because you have a light side which you can highlight with and a dark side which you can contour with, or you can just blend them all together, which I do, and it just gives you an all over glow. But with this product you do have the option to highlight and contour, so you kind of get 3 in 1. So I just use this all over my face, just blending in circular motions, because you don't want to pull it from side to side and you don't want to go up and down. You just want to do circular motions. That way it blends and looks nice and even. And I usually just go around my hairline on my forehead and then just bring it down the middle, and I just kind of brush to the side. And then I do bring a little bit on my neck. And then while I still have my bronzing brush out, I'm going to touch up my blemish with the leftover concealer on my beauty bed. And then I'm going to tap just a little bit and go over it, and then you can't see it anymore. All gone. Now I am going to go in with the Mineral Touch pressed blusher in the shade Sweet. by Younique. It's a very pretty color. It is a more peachy color, and it is buildable. You can either go very light with it, or you can go a little bit dark, or you can go very dramatic with it. I usually do about a medium, especially since I've tan, because it's just light, really just don't show up with me. I'm using a tapered blush brush from Sephora. This is one of my favorite brushes that I've got. It does remind me very much of the bunny brush from Too Faced. And then I'm just going to do circular motions right under my cheekbones. And I usually bring this up to my hairline. I'm actually going to put a little bit more on. And the same on the other side. I'm going to go back to my eyes and finish them. So, okay, I am going to go back in with the Perfect pencil by Younique, and I'm just going to line from my pupil to my corner. I don't like the heavy look whenever you bring it all the way over, so I'm just going to start here at the corner, and be sure you go get around that little curve of your eye and pull it out. Like that. See this little gap right there? Be sure you fill that in. And pull it down. Okay. And so you could leave it like this if you wanted. I still think it's a little bit harsh. That's why I always smoke it out with a pigment. And I am going to go back in with the shade Devious with the brow brush that I highlighted my crease with. And there's very little product on this, and I'm just going to trace from my corner to my pupil. And then I'm going to drag it on into the corner, because the softness that the pigment creates there is fine. And so you can see that this side is darker and that up here is much lighter, and that's what you want. You want a lighter look towards that corner. And I'm going to smoke out my other one. And see, I just like that look a lot better than just lining the whole bottom lash with the eyeliner. And then I'm actually going to go back in, and I meant to do this earlier and I totally forgot. I'm going to go back in with the Splurge Cream Shadow in the shade Elegant. And I am going to use my finger, and I'm just going to use just a little bit. Very, very little, because it doesn't take much. Just that little bit that I have right here. And I'm going to go over the shade Feisty on top of my eye. And if I get it in my liquid eyeliner, then I'll go back and just touch it up. I think I can do it without it. But I meant to do it in the beginning before I put my winged eyeliner on. And it just doesn't change it much. It just gives it the added sparkle versus no sparkle. And I like sparkle. So, I'm going to go in again on my other eye. Actually, like a little bit more of that off. Just tap your eyelid. It doesn't take much at all, very little. Okay. I didn't get it. Maybe a little bit. Go over my wing just a little bit real quick. There you go. I'm going to dust out from under my eyes just again. I'm pretty sure there's nothing there, but just to be sure. And then I am going to take my beauty blender, and I usually do this before I put any of my lip products on, and I will take the end that I did have the foundation on, and I'm going to tap my lips. It kind of mutes them out, and whatever lip product you put on, it just holds it on better. So I am going to line my lips with the shade Pouty by Younique. It's a neutral shade. I'm not doing any ombre lip today, I'm just lining the outside edges. I'm actually going to come back and finish my lips because apparently it's Friday. It's been a very busy week at work, and I forgot to do my eyebrows. So let me dig those products out. I'm also going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills products for my eyebrows. I'm going to be using the Brow Whiz in the shade Taupe. It doesn't take very much to have out on your pencil. See, that's a very, very small amount. And what I'm going to do is brush my brows before I fill them in. So I'm just going to brush them out. And no joke, it has literally took me 2 years to grow out my eyebrows and get them plucked and everything the exact way that I want them. And still I have a little issue right there. Right, I'm going to start here in the inner corner. I'm going to do light, and then I'm going to go heavy on the tail. See, I have a little gap right there. And if you're unsure of what shade that you need for your eyebrows, blondes can go a medium brown, but you don't want to do a really dark brown. And then this is taupe, and I use blonde in mine, and I have chocolate brown hair. And then if you go in a store, one of the reps can help you. You can use the Younique Pigments to line your brows with. I just haven't got brave enough yet. Actually, haven't set enough time aside on the weekend to practice it. I know it's done. There's other presenters that do it all the time, and it looks just as good as what I'm doing right here. So save you a little bit of money if you have a brown pigment from Younique. Then I'm sure you could use it too. The shade Beautiful would be a really good one to use. It's a neutral brown. And I do just brush these here on the inside up. And I'm going to go in with the Brow Powder by Anastasia in the shade Ash Blonde. I'm going to be using an Eco Tools brow brush. And I do use the lighter side. You have a lighter side and a darker side option here. And I usually just fill in on the tail to just soften it up. And I go a little bit over here, but I don't go closer than right here. In the last video, I did use the MAC gel brow set, but I did buy the Anastasia Brow Gel in clear, and I really like it. I had just used the MAC All Up, and I just wanted to try hers because I hadn't yet. So I am going to go in with the Anastasia highlighting pen, and I am going to use the concealer end, and I am just going to go right up underneath my brow and just define it, and I'll show you the difference in just a minute. Okay, here's this brow done, and then here is this one that's not done. And then you don't want to leave that harsh line, and this is a smudge brush by Eco Tools, and you just want to blend that out. You can drag it down a little bit past your brow and just blend that out. It just defines your brow better. It makes them pop, and I like my brows to pop. I love my brows. I'm going to go in with the champagne shade and line the top of my brows. Or not line them, but just trace the outside edge. This could also be done with the shades Curious or Sexy by Younique. Let me try that next time. I'm going to use a smudge brush and just pull this one down and then smudge it out. And then I'm going to smudge the top out too, because you don't want to leave those lines. You just want a little bit of highlight there to define them. Okay. Then this is the Clear Brow Gel by Anastasia. It's a really good gel, and your eyebrows will not move until you wash them off. And I do use this all over because I didn't use the MAC up here in the corner because I didn't want it to be dark. You want that to look soft and natural. You don't want harsh brows or scary brows. You want nice, soft, natural ones that you look like you woke up with. Okay, there's my brows. Now I'm going to finish the look off with the Stiff Upper Lip by Younique. It is a lip stain, and this is in the shade Skittish, and the best way to describe it is Barbie doll pink. It is pink. It is pink. Let's see if you can tell. Light on the tube. Can't really tell how pink it is right there in the tube, but it's very, very pink. Whenever I first got these in the mail, I swatched them on the inside of my arm, and I wore it for a few days. You know, I took a bath and everything. It just didn't come off. It will come off your lips, like whenever you brush your teeth and the toothpaste gets on your lips, and then when you eat and you drink, it does come off. But just like with a makeup remover, it'll still be there. So, and I do a couple of coats of this. I'll usually just twist the brush instead of going back in, but if you use it all that's on the brush, there is a lot that comes out on the brush, but if you need to go back in the tube and just get some more, you can. And this is the finished look. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I really like this look today. It's just a natural, cool, smoky eye. And I like the cool smoky eye in the summer just because it's warmer outside versus the warmer smoky eye which more people wear in the winter. I really like this look. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it. If you need help in any way selecting a product, a shade, I'll be glad to meet with you and help you, and I'll bring all my stuff with me that I've got, and you can look through it and pick your shades, do swatches, and see what works best for you, because not everybody's skin tone's the same, but most eyeshadows, anybody can wear them. It just takes a little bit of practice. Anyway, I hope you like this look. I hope you like this video. I hope it has been better than the other couple that I've done. I promise they will get better. Thank you for watching, and I'll do another one very soon.